Good afternoon and welcome back to another edition of Stay Tuned. I'm Daryl Strong.
And I'm Danica Hill. It's good to have you back here, Daryl.
Oh, well, thank you. I definitely enjoy watching those homecoming specials. But on today's show, we'll be covering everything from the Halloween events to the Elephant in the Room seminar and the kickoff of this year's basketball team.
But first, we're going to start off with our international news. Days after the typhoon struck the Philippines, assistance has finally arrived on site. Authorities estimated that the storm killed more than 10,000 people. The United Nations released $25 million in emergency funds. A rundown single-story building near the city's airport has become the main medical center for the victims. There are very few doctors available, but there are hundreds of patients waiting in agony to see a doctor. The focus is getting food and water to those in need. The World Food Program distributed rice and other items to nearly 50,000 people. More and more relief is being sent each day.
What's your favorite thing to do on Halloween?
Sometimes I like to go to a haunted house.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, speaking of Halloween, the second annual haunted house took place a few weeks ago, sponsored by WEB&MVP student organization. The theme for this year's haunted house was Devil. From clowns to human sacrifices, WEB&MVP took this year's haunted house to another level. Guests will begin with the video created by senior broadcast journalism student Julian Jackson, starring some familiar Langston faces, followed by entrance into the haunted house, consisting of 8 rooms and a maze, all located on the second floor of Young Hall. The haunted house left students breathless and even some faculty and staff scared, literally out of their shoes. We can't wait to see what WEB&MVP will bring to us next year for the haunted house.
Homosexuality at HBCUs is being addressed more and more each day. Danica Wright, a transgender female, went out to support the LU event, the Elephant in the Room seminar, which addressed sex, religion, and race. James Scott with the story.
This is James Scott with Stay Tuned here in the Allied Health Building, where Jamie Washington, our special guest, is going to tell Langston University about the elephant in the room. Danica Wright, a senior psychology major from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, is a transgender female and has been for the past few years now. So when special guest Jamie Washington came to Langston, she saw it fit to attend the seminar. Langston came out in numbers to support the event, filling the Allied Health Building to its capacity. Jamie Washington held the crowd's attention by having students interact with each other and mix and mingle. Washington wanted students' opinions on different topics and feelings on certain subjects.
Freely, but when I'm put in a situation where I know exactly what to say, I just want to know how to go about it without feeling weird.
Wright was fully engaged through the seminar, stating her own opinion on topics of discussion as well.
I would hope that people have more of an understanding of someone who is different from them and not be so close-minded, open-minded.
After the event was over, Wright was able to speak to Washington about the event, and Stay Tuned got an exclusive interview from both Dr. Raphael Moffitt and Jamie Washington and their take on the night's event.
I actually know Jamie from some work that we did with Leadership Institute, National Leadership Institute, and we were talking about HBCUs and the complex diversity at HBCUs. And so the conversation of race, religion, and sexual identity came up, and we said, man, in the context of what happens at our institutions, we don't have that conversation a lot. We might have it in our residence halls or one-on-one, but not in a group setting where we actually talk about how people process these 3 different identities. So
I think that it was a wonderful opportunity for students to stir, right? Again, it was a big topic. It's a huge topic, and some folks needed more time to talk about race. Some folks wanted more time to talk about sexuality. Some folks needed more time to talk about religion, and we were trying to navigate the intersections of all of those. And so I think that people can pay attention to where they got stirred, right? And most of us get stirred in religion.
Students and staff both would agree. During that event, they could all feel the elephant in the room.
The season is here.
I can't wait to see what the basketball team has to offer.
Well, the season has officially started, and with a handful of new players, the first game brought the University of Science and Arts of Oklahoma to the one and only Lions Den.
Basketball fans came out as Langston University's men's basketball team took on the University of Science and Arts of Oklahoma at Langston's first home game. Langston suffered a tough loss in his home opener against University of Science and Arts of Oklahoma. With a score of 70-56 during the first half, Langston was up to 28-27, but were outscored by 15 as their record dropped to 0-3. Langston was led by guard Devin Mitchell, who scored 13 points, adding 3 rebounds and 3 assists. The Langston Dogs performed at the halftime, with this being their first performance of the year, leaving an impression on the campus. This is James Scott with Stay Tuned, here with Yuki Hunter, a junior psychology major from Tulsa, Oklahoma, and the new captain of the Dancing Dogs. So, how are you doing today?
I'm doing fine, and you?
Oh, I'm fine. So, how did the idea of the Dancing Dogs come about?
Well, me personally, I really love to dance, and I wanted to give Langston ladies another outlet for dancing other than the other organizations that we have on campus. So I said, well, why don't I just start my own?
Although we faced a hard loss, Langston is looking forward to a great season for the team.
Hi, I'm Deanna Brame. One Problem, Two Solutions is a part of our program where we give the viewers an opportunity to voice their opinions on standing issues. With me, I have Akila Davenport, a junior public health major from Los Angeles, California. So, Akila, what problems are you having on campus?
One of my main concerns were administration and how they're not really for the students. They listen to what we have to say, but they don't really hear us. It's like their way or the highway.
So what 2 solutions do you have to resolve this issue?
Well, they can really be more understanding to what we have to say, and for administration and the students to come together and compromise and possibly form an organization for us to all be on the same page.
Thank you, Akila. My name is Deanna Brame. If you have a problem and a solution, feel free to contact lustaytuned@gmail.com.
Thank you for tuning in to this edition of Stay Tuned, and please remember to follow our Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube page at LU Stay Tuned. I'm Daryl Strong.
And I'm Danica Hill.
Always remember to stay tuned.